if we could appeal to things that even make the United States even better than it already is, who wouldn't support something like that?
It is done, because we've done tremendous work. Since 1958, we have created the World Constitution, the most important document in the 20th century. And we have elaborated immense, what the Provisional World Legislation does, or attempts to do, is elaborate the infrastructure which will make the activation of the Constitution possible, right? We haven't been, as you know, we haven't been successful in raising a lot of money yet, but we have a kind of diversified set of possibilities that we have developed.
And we're here, ladies and gentlemen, as educators, teachers, students alike, all of us concerned about the future. The question that we're really here for is, do we have a future? It's serious. We're in a serious situation here in the early 21st century. We recognize that we need to build a new world because the old world has failed and is in many respects hopelessly broken and fragmented. In this respect, I think we're all rays of light in the darkness and ignorance of these times.
For us, our goal, our reason is not to make billions of dollars. Our reason is to save the world and help humanity.
And we struggle to overcome the oppression, the greed, the war, the bigotry, the hatred, the ignorance, and the fear.
Well, to be suspicious about one world government is actually not dumb. It's a smart move because there's two different camps that want there's three camps that want one world government. There's the theocracy that would love to, the religious people that would love to run everything. And then there's the oligarchy, the capitalists that would like to run the whole world and screw everybody else.
Mm-hmm. They're well on their way.
They're doing very well.
Yes. They're probably in the lead right now, huh?
And there's little old us, a handful of madmen that are on Mission Impossible.
So we have undertaken a mission, and
Oh, definitely Mission Impossible, without a question. Totally ridiculous. But in all history of every revolution, pretty much, there was usually just a handful of people who and they were half broke, no money, and just a few people.
I heard that's what the
All
American
the
Revolution was too.
I guess it was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
Yes,
it.
it was.
I heard most people were neutral during the war.
Well, it might have been because they had to decide, stick with the British. Sign off on it like Einstein, his friends did, and the New York Times publishers that are getting the New Yorker or somebody to do a story on what we're attempting to do, because that would really take us a step ahead to get that kind of acknowledgement. So that's something we ought to be thinking about, giving it a try one of these days. Are we really hoping that some of these nations will rebel and just tell the Security Council to go to hell and start and join the Federation? This system would be a hell of a lot better, and then George Bush and Clinton and Obama could be arrested for war crimes. Immediately. A good thing, an exciting thing. And I've argued that part of what I didn't like about the UN is in terms I think we need a worldwide political revolution. But I don't think we can get that through the UN. I don't think you can talk the young people into, let's go have a United Nations movement. I don't. But it's the internet changes everything. It's a game changer.
I think it does. I wouldn't know
And
half the crap I know.
Yeah, the kids are pretty slick on the internet. There's a lot of kind of intriguing stuff going on.
In what sense? In the good sense or bad sense?
Well, like there was a group that called themselves Anonymous. Now 9 of them got busted.
Yeah, I saw that.
Really?
Was it 9 got busted?
I'm not sure how many, but
Yeah, and they were messing around in cyberspace with the establishment. And breaking into some of the establishment's computers and all.
What is the establishment?
Well, to me, that's the military-industrial research banking complex.
Okay.
The people the shadow government, the people that are running things.
Okay.
And so. My take on it, just my personal take, is that we got a 50-50 chance. But it is. It's actually not my personal take. It's I had one religious experience in my life, and that's what I was doing. It's a 50-50 chance. That's my theory. So
Either we do or we don't, huh?
well, it depends on us. We're not dead ducks yet, and maybe we can turn it around. But burden's on us.
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely so. I think there's a little bit more than 50-50 chance, though, because...
Why? That's pretty generous.
But don't,
You think
yeah,
so?
I don't think that's pretty.
Is it because there's not enough people aware of it yet in order to make it any more?
I mean, if
You know what I'm
everybody
saying?
knew the power of the people, they would rise up, but everybody's too powerful. The corporations, they're not going to let everybody find out.
Well, I mean, it's keeping people ignorant, essentially, is what the essence of it is.
I would agree.
How long can you keep people ignorant? Well, especially once the cat's out of the
They're
bag.
getting better at it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can...
Oh, it's smooth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we live in a world where the information age has given us virtually more information than any one person could ever hope to process in an entire lifetime. Yet despite our profound abilities for scientific research and our immense capacity to provide all this information unto everyone for free, we still hesitate to do so in any constructive manner. Instead, we insist on having the rights to hoard the benefits unto ourselves and distribute the debt unto others. Then we spend the rest of our time engaging in the disputes in an attempt to settle these infringements of those rights. What we are witnessing in these conflicts at our stage 0 level of existence of human civilization can be accurately referred to as the war on information. This war on information has become the destructive impasse that we presently follow down a pathway to the imminent self-destruction of all mankind. The questions that we must ask and strive to answer include the following. If we have come to a point in science and technology that can actually provide for the needs of all, why don't we engage in such a practice? If our medical science can cure humanity of all its ailments, why don't we practice medicine in such a manner so that this becomes a common practice for our shared awareness and a focal point for the global achievements for all mankind? The only reason is because we continue to operate in a system of greed and deception. It is the same deception that prevents any one of us from being able to accept our own truth as part of a self-developing role necessary to fulfill an altruistic destiny. So then another question we might ask is, why do we continue to compete with one another for superiority and dominance over the dying markets of a profit-based economic system, if we could readily transform these markets into the very frontier that gives birth to an age of abundance? The answer is that our existing financial system and profit-based markets have become so corrupt that they can only reward those people who can convince the silent majority that their products and services are better than their competitors. We take this system of marketing as the accepted standard of our existing society. And as a result of its inadequacies, it has escalated our markets from a level of competition whose objective was once merely to outperform our competitors to one that must invoke the oppression of all society in order to maintain status quo. We see these truths to be self-evident in the growing competition for fewer and fewer to strive in the face of our imminent death and the collapse of the capitalistic marketing system. We live in a system of marketing that has become so corrupt that the guidelines and parameters through which it provides for its consumers are merely its own interests of maintaining its ongoing existence in light of deception for all to conform to the standards of maintaining this status quo. We have created a world where our success can only come to those who worship the avenues of progress that we have paved through the bloodshed of all mankind. This worship has been delivered to us from the markets of productivity into the hands of deception, greed, and manipulation by a system of trade that has become so corrupt that it forces us to work in the markets of human trafficking and self-destruction in order to merely sustain ourselves on a day-to-day basis. No matter how it disguises itself under the veils of progress, hope, and the standardization of our work ethics, all of us have submitted to these lies to some degree or another. Either passively or actively, we live the lives of slaves who have become so inured to this dying system of greed that we will blindly fight to defend it. In this day and age, we are currently witnessing the decline of a stage 0 level of human civilization, which ultimately will collapse in our imminent future. We witness these truths to be self-evident in our daily lives through the growing levels of stress, violence, corruption, and chaos that we are constantly witnessing all around us. We see this chaos erupting from the very core of our national governments and the fabric of human society as we now know it. Governments which were once created as individual systems meant to provide an inherent source of protection unto all its members have become corrupt. In this day and age, our continuing efforts to protect humanity under this established system of national sovereignty has become the greatest facade and deception of all mankind. It is a facade perpetrated by all our leaders, politicians, and those at the core of our central banking systems. Its deception has become so pronounced that it focuses us now to adopt and sustain our own principles of operation, which can only come at the cost and sacrifice of our God-given rights to truth, freedom, justice, and equality for all humanity. We see these truths to be self-evident in the statements of our colleagues all around us. Dr. Glenn T. Martin expresses these truths through his growing concerns for the catastrophic events happening in our daily lives. These events have become the signs for an imminent failure of our socioeconomic system as we know it in this stage 0 level of existence. In a very similar fashion, even Dr. Cotilla acknowledges this truth. In his own personal opinions, he said that humanity may only have a 50-50 chance at survival. I, however, feel that we have the capacity to do much better than that. This solution involves taking a third approach whose purpose goes well beyond the needs for world unity, but at the same time treats that objective as a single stepping stone for the achievement of success for all. This approach involves the laying of a moral and metaphysical foundation that will support the architecture of a stage 1 level of human civilization. The M&M Foundation is the institutionalization of truth that creates this third approach. The fundamental purpose of this approach is to significantly increase our chances of survival through the indoctrination of a set of ethical beliefs whose practice allows us to inherently trust one another. Its applications and individual roles are implemented through our needs for self-realization of a transformational change in human society. It is sought by those of us who can readily see the value in adopting a methodology of life that allows us to pursue an altruistic destiny. Our self-actualization of this destiny is achieved by finding those of us who are ready now to pursue an alternative pathway because we recognize that something is wrong with our existing system. Through the organization of these people, we will pave our pathway to build the architecture of a stage 1 level of human civilization. As we continue this construction, others join us as they too grow tired of living in a system of greed and deception and begin to seek the truth that will set them free. As our expression of truth grows and diversifies to the point that it can encompass the needs of others, they too will then accept our invitation and become an expression of our shared awareness. In the coming years ahead, through the collapse of human civilization at our stage 0 level of existence, within the sanctity and fortitude and stability of this institutionalization of truth, we will begin to offer a role unto all who are willing to venture forth. This role will begin as their search for an alternative identity that we will establish within a resource-based economy. This will be our gift that we offer unto all humanity, a gift of sanctity that will encourage hope at the same time it sustains our system of beliefs. Through this gift, we will nourish its diversity of expression, the self-development of each individual in their unique roles, and the integration of these roles into the organization of a self-sustaining transformation of human civilization at a stage 1 level of existence. And through the methodology of this application, we will define these self-developing roles of transformation as an opportunity for all humanity to work together in harmony. This is an opportunity to bypass the coming global depression that awaits all humanity. We pursue this opportunity so that we may strive to prevent the outbreak of World War III in the coming years ahead. All we ask in return is for your acknowledgement and respect in our endeavors to emulate the shared awareness for the advent of an age of abundance. This is our invitation to you to improve our chances of survival from a 50-50 possibility to that of 99% likelihood through our establishment of a transformational change within human society. We offer this invitation unto you to join our forum whenever you are ready. We invite you to become one with the truth and the opportunity of hope, where you'll take on a role of self-realization on whatever level you can begin to see its value. And through this experience of our shared awareness, we shall embark on an altruistic destiny in search of our spiritual oneness with all mankind.